Catholic Church then required and still requires.
That is. That's who gave it to you. They gave it to you. You understand what I'm saying? Then Emperor Constantine, he came along and made it law. But what did God make law? God made the seventh-day law, didn't it? But then Emperor Constantine made the first-day law. Read you something else. This book is specifically dealing with the Catholic religion here. And it is, the title of the book is Cabinet of Catholic Information. And it is certain claims that the Catholic Church have made regarding the first day as the Sabbath day. Start reading right there.
The Sunday question.
The Sunday question.
The divine institution of a day of rest from ordinary occupation and of religious worship, transferred by the authority of the church.
Well, not by God. Transferred by the authority of what church? The Catholic Church. It just told you. Go ahead and read on.
From the Sabbath, the last day, to Sunday, the first day of the week.
So it was transferred by them. That's who changed, who tried to change up everything. I ain't gonna say they changed, because they ain't changed nothing. They just changed it in their mind and in your mind. But with God, it is still the seventh day. Let's go now to Daniel chapter 9, and we'll begin reading at verse 26. Daniel 9, verse 26. 9 and 26. 9 and 26. Because we're going to deal with the question here now, whether or not Jesus rose on the first day of the week. Because that's what everybody say. You know, Jesus rose on the first day of the week, and that is why it is now the Sabbath day. So now if you saying that Jesus rose on the first day of the week, and it is now the Sabbath day, and you keep Sunday as the Sabbath day, so what does that tell me? That tells me you know what day the first day of the week is. Therefore, you know what day the seventh day is. Because the seventh day is the day before the first day. So I know you know. You just want to get stupid when I corner you up and tell you to prove some of that stuff. So then you want to go stupid. Well, we don't know. Yes, you do. You know. I know you know. Daniel chapter 9, start reading at verse 26. 9 and 26. Go ahead and read.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
Jesus being killed. That is what this is dealing with. Go ahead and read.
But not for himself.
And he didn't die for himself. He died for the sins of man. Go ahead and read.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined.
And then a few years after Jesus was killed, then the Romans came down there and they destroyed Jerusalem and they destroyed the temple that Ezra and Nehemiah and them rebuilt. Go ahead and read on.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week,
go ahead,
he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblations to cease.
So now Jesus died in the middle of the week. And the middle of the week, that is a Wednesday. So now that is when he died. And notice what else it said. And he will cause sacrifices and oblations to cease. Not the Ten Commandments. Not even the dietary law. But sacrifices and oblations. Now this message came from God here. This didn't come from Daniel. God gave the message to Gabriel and told Gabriel to give the message to Daniel. So the message is that the Messiah would be cut off in the middle of the week and he would cause sacrifices and oblations to cease. Go ahead and finish that verse.
And for the overspreading of abomination, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Now that is good. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 now, and we'll begin reading at verse 38. So now Jesus was to be cut off in the middle of the week, and we understand the middle of the week is the day that we call Wednesday. I'm going to just show you, you know that thing, Jesus rising on the first day of the week, it just don't fly. Matthew chapter 12, and we'll begin reading at verse 38. Matthew 12, we'll begin at verse 38. You know, they asked Jesus to show them a sign. Jesus said, I'm going to give you one sign, this is it. Verse 38, go ahead and read.
Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we will see a sign from thee.
Go ahead.
But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah.
I'm going to give you one sign, and that sign is the sign of the prophet Jonah. Go ahead and read on.
For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
Now notice how the Lord phrased this thing, because, somebody want to say, well, 3 days. 3 days and 3 nights. Lord had a reason for doing it that. God heard some people try to get around and just say, well, 3 days. See, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Lord knew what he was doing. He knew all that little stuff that man was going to come up with. That's why he put certain things, certain ways. Make sure you couldn't come along later and mess it up. Just like we read about the Sabbath day earlier, where he said you ain't supposed to do no work. Well, I get somebody else to do the work for me. You know your son, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor the stranger. Because Lord knew exactly what man was going to do, to come along and come up with some garbage and then try to use the book to justify it. Let's go next to Matthew chapter 27, and we'll begin reading at verse 45. Matthew 27, and we're going to pick it up at verse 45. 27 and 45. So now Jesus said, 3 days and 3 nights. That's what the Lord himself said. That's how long he said he was going to be in the grave. I ain't got to go through that Good Friday thing with you do. You done figured that out by now. That don't fly. You done figured that out already. I know you done figured that out. But let's go to Matthew chapter 27 and begin at verse 45. 27 and 45. Go ahead and read.
And from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour.
Now from the 6th hour, that would have been about noon. There was darkness on all over the land until about the 9th hour, which would have been about 3 in the afternoon. We had just said 3 p.m. Go ahead and read.
And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani.
Go ahead.
That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man calleth for Elijah. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink.
Go ahead.
The rest said, Let be. Let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up to ghosts.
Now, in other words, after he had cried again, then he yielded up to ghosts. He died, in other words. And we are dealing with around 3 in the afternoon here. The day is coming to a close. It is about 3 in the afternoon now. Now, we want to, continue reading.
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom.
Go ahead.
And the earth did quake, and the rocks rent.
Now, this signified the end of the animal sacrifice here, because it told you when Jesus died, it was going to cause sacrifices and oblations to see. Because, this veil of the temple, it was all dealing with the animal sacrificial thing. So now, once Jesus died, you didn't have to kill animals anymore. So that is why the veil of the temple, it rent in twine. Go ahead and read on.
And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
Go ahead.
And came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many.
Go ahead.
Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly, this was the Son of God.
Go ahead.
And many women were there, beholding afar off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him.
Go ahead.
Among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James, and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee, children.
Go ahead.
When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea, named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body...
Now evening have come. You understand what I'm saying? Now we're getting down in the evening. The day is not all the way over yet, but it's evening now. He died about 3 o'clock. Now it has come down to the evening.